Games, my friend.
Please rise as the colors are entered into the stadium by the 42nd Black Watch Highland Regiment Color Guard.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm at the Seaside Highland Games today. We're having a blast here, and I put together a video here for you today, so I'm really excited. This is Saturday. I might do several videos, kind of split it up into different things for you, but this is the little blog video. Got some cool stuff to show you and things too, so welcome back. Future editing Zollin in the future of the video here. Real fast, insert myself for a little bit of information. I'm going to put together both the two different videos of both Saturday and Sunday. This will be in both videos, so whichever you're watching, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. This is kind of a blog series. I put a lot into these videos. I have some timestamps I'll put in there that you can kind of hop around because I understand, unless you're someone who wants to see all of it, wonderful. We drove out to this event, the Seaside Highland Games. It's quite a drive, but you know what? It's super fun to go to in Southern California, and we have a blast, and a lot of people come from all over the world, and some people come from Scotland, and it's pretty darn awesome, and a couple other places. So again, I also have a couple things in both of these videos. One is with the Celtic Caterer, and he is awesome, and again, I will link his stuff in the description of these videos, okay? And also another couple people I met at the selling locations there, and the cool things they made, and again, I'll link their stuff in the future there down in the description as well for you guys to check it out. It's super, super cool. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's all the info I wanted to give for you guys. Enjoy, my friends! Alright, we're at the Seaside Highland Games, my friend.
Please rise as the colors are entered into the stadium by the 42nd Black Watch Highland Regiment Color Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gold Coast Pipe Band, led by Senior Drum Major and director of our master band, David Milton. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 19th annual Seaside Highland Games! I'm your Master of Ceremony, Bill Graham. I'll be with you all day today and this evening for our closing ceremonies. I'd like to welcome everybody, and I hope you're enjoying yourself today. To kick it off, we're going to start with two national anthems, one from Scotland, and then of course our own right here in America. So ladies and gentlemen, the Flower of Scotland.
O flower of Scotland, when will we see your like again? I fought and I heard your wee bit hill and glen had stood against him. Proud Edward's army had sent him homeward to think again. Those days are past now, I'm in the past, they must remain, but we can still rise now and be the nation again that stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent him homeward to think again. Oh, flower of Scotland, when will we see your like again? That fought and died for your wee bit hill and glen that stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent him homeward to think again.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Highland Way. They'll be back on the main stage here at about 2:45. So let's give them another round of applause. Great job. Next up to sing our national anthem is Andy Braisted. Andy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in there, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hymn of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, and now to honor the chieftain of the games, Bill Lowry, the band will now play Highland Lady, Once Time Through. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick it off now with the mass bands and parades. So have a seat, make yourself comfortable, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Los Angeles' very own Pasadena Scots.
Woohoo!
Our first player of the march today, Caterer.
So they put the Saturday they put the bands between the clans. So it's the opening ceremonies, and then tomorrow, which I should be here for that and have it recorded too for you guys, probably a separate video. That will be the bagpipe band competition, but you get to see them both days. Lots of bagpipes.
In the arena, the Caterer Highlanders. These are Clan Henderson. Gentlemen, now entering the arena, the R.P. Blanford Memorial Pipe Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Long Beach Pipes and Drums. Ladies and gentlemen, plunge your coming. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Silicon Valley Pipes and Drums. One Macintosh.
Glenn McLaren.
Glenn Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the City of Angels Pipe Band. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Glenn Doherty. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Moffett.
Wallace.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the microphone now the chieftain of the Seaside Highland Games, Mr. Bill Lowry. Bill's going to give a few words and then officially open the session. So, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bill. Thank you all so much for coming out for our 19th anniversary of the Seaside Highland Games. It's a pleasure to have you out here this weekend, and we couldn't ask for better weather and just a better set of events for you. So there's plenty of things to do and see. Hope you have a great weekend. Don't go far. Bill's going to have more comments. But I'm here to tell you that we're going to announce that the games are now officially open.
I just want to remind everybody we have something very special for you right after the opening ceremonies right here. We're going to be hosting the Regimental Drum Major Competition right after the opening ceremonies. But now to kick it off, and thank you, Bill, we want to now have our Gold Coast Pipe Band is going to play Scotland the Brave. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gold Coast Fight Band, led by Senior Drum Major David Milton. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome you to the 19th annual Seaside Highland Game!
Yeah!
Have a great day, everybody. Stick around. The drum major competition is going to be again right over here. Thank you.
All right, off to the next event. All right, guys, I'm going to link their site in the description, but look at these awesome Lord of the Rings cups, and they will make them custom for you online, so I'll link their stuff in the description, but it's really cool. They've got the prancing pony, the green dragon, and then we've got like Hobbit cups, which I actually got one of these. I really like it a lot. It's pretty darn cool. And then they have these map ones that she's custom done with like engravings of the map with Middle Earth. Yeah, they're really, really cool. So anyway, you should check out their site. And I'm enjoying the Highland Games today. Pretty fun. So at this part of the video, I'm going to show you a couple awesome photos real quick. I'll just go ahead and let them run here. I'll do them real slow. Got a couple cool shots. Got one of me here standing with basically the front little mascot they have for the games. And I got a couple of shots of the shops, some of the just the big areas with all the bagpipe groups. And there's a cool dragon skull right here. You know, a couple cool things. I just thought I'd show you real quick, couple cool photos here. And then the previous video part was, again, they're really awesome. They do awesome pottery and awesome mugs and stuff. And again, I'll link them in the description. And then this next part coming up right here is going to be the Celtic Caterer. He does a lot of stuff on the west coast of the United States and Southern California and a couple other states. And he does catering and he does shows at the Highland Games. It's really, really fun. He's just awesome. Again, I know him. He's really awesome. I talk with him a lot. My friend, we're kind of like always go to his shows. We're his we joke we're his groupies. My whole family and friends. There's always like 15 of us that show up at his things when he comes to them. And definitely check out his site in the description, my friends. All right, and you can check out. And he also has spices you can order and his recipe books. And then again, after the video of his, he let me film his show here, and I appreciate that, and I sent it to him as well so he could have a copy. But it's pretty cool to watch. He has got some amazing historian stuff too, even though he's also an amazing cook. So he talks about both those things, and also right after his cooking show, I also have a little video of his shop as well. All right, Eric McBride is his name. So anyway, thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and again, check out his stuff as well. And I appreciate it that he allowed me to put this into one of my videos. So, all right, here we're continuing on. Enjoy the show.
to be in like Flynn. You're out then in your out then you're in like Flynn. You're out then in your out then you're in like Flynn. Whoa! You across the ocean or like the JFK. You didn't know the favor of a chancellor anyway. Made it off the INS, new lights are to begin. I made it to America, we're in like Flynn. You're out then in your out then you're in like Flynn. Out then you're in like Flynn. You're out then in your out then you're in like Flynn. You're out then in your out then you're in like Flynn.
All right, who's ready for some great Celtic cooking today?
Yeah!
Anyway, my name is Chef Eric McBride. I'm the executive chef and owner of the Celtic Caterer, formerly out of Colorado. Now I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, kind of spreading out the word from there. And I'm on this nationwide crusade to teach exactly what is Celtic cuisine, because it doesn't fit in a nice little parameters of all the culinary. First of all, if you don't know, Celtic cuisine is divided between the 8 Celtic nations. Scotland, Ireland, Wales, those are the big 3 most people know about. There's a little island between the 3 of them called the Island of Man. It's actually like half Celtic, half Viking culture and heritage. If you go further down the British coastline, there's this peninsula that sticks out beneath Wales. That's Cornwall. Even though it's listed as being part of England, they will emphatically tell you that they are not English. Because many places in Cornwall still do not have electricity or running water, let alone Wi-Fi, the internet, and here it is, 2023. Now, the Cornish are closely related to the people across the English Channel, the Britons. That's that northwestern corner of France that sticks out into the Atlantic. They're the last of the old Gauls, the people who used to fight against Caesar and the Romans, and they will tell you that the rest of the French are nothing but Germans, and technically they're right. Now, the last 2 everybody always forgets about is Galicia and Asturias, Spain. Galicia is the northwestern corner of Spain, right above Portugal, used to include the northern part of Portugal. Asturias is immediately to the east along the northern coastline. Now, centuries ago, when the English were in their boardroom renaming everything, calling it Celtic and not Celtic, they said, well, here's Galicia and here's Asturias. They're right next to each other. We'll just push them together and make one big Celtic nation. Had they even been there, they would have known that there's a huge mountain chain that separates the 2, and in those days, the only way you can get from one to the other was basically by sea. Now, why is Galicia and Asturias, Spain important to all Celts all around the world? Well, if we go back to Ireland, and we go back to the Book of Kells and the Book of Invasions, it talks about the different people who came to Ireland. The last group of people to come to Ireland were the Celts themselves. Known as the Sons of Monius, they sailed out of what is now Corona, Spain, and landed in Cork, Ireland, somewhere between the 5th and 7th century BC. Now, over the years, those people went further up into Ireland, and in the 2nd and 3rd century of the current era, some of them sailed across the Irish Sea and became the Welsh. Others went further up in Ireland, and in 534, the Kingdom of Dalriata kind of split apart, led by a man named Fergus MacCurk, who landed in what is now Argyll, Scotland, and founded the Kingdom of Dalriata. Dalriata is the first time the tribe of Scots ever come to Scotland. Now, there were already Celts living in Scotland at the time. Those were the ones that the Romans called the Britons. They themselves called themselves Albinecs and called their country Alba. They trace their lineage a little differently down through Belgium, and ultimately where all Celts come from is in Herstatt, Austria, somewhere between 1500 and 1700 BC. So knowing where people come from is how a cuisine develops. As people move in the area, they find what flora and fauna is available, what they can grow, what they can hunt, what they can fish in the rivers, the streams, and the oceans. And over some time here, some of those family favorites become a village favorite, become the cuisine that we know today for it all. Myself as a historical chef, I kind of take a step back and connect all the dishes. So we got a dish that we're going to cook really fast because we've got a lot to go from here, and then I go right into another one right afterwards. It is a Irish creamy saffron and garlic soup. Anybody
yummy.
ever cooked with saffron at all? Like this. So I've already used quite a bit. This whole packet right here. Now here's the secret on saffron. Yes, I got these from Savory Spice, but other times I've done this year. Find an Indian grocery store, right? You will find it at half the price of any other herb or spice store. I paid $20 for this. Normally it goes for like $300 an ounce, right?
Wow.
It's not that expensive if you go through an Indian restaurant, and they'll have several different styles for it too. And I mean, they really know their style. Saffron's a little iris portion of the saffron flower, so that's why. But it gives you a lot of good coloring. So beforehand, and I'm sorry my video is not working today, in hot water, I've taken my saffron and I've already put it in hot water. Try to, so it'll color the whole way, and that's one of the things. Not only is it a flavor, it's a coloring base. Anybody ever eat a Spanish paella?
Yes.
That's, they get it from the saffron. Though a lot of restaurants anymore don't use just saffron, they'll use saffron with a little bit of turmeric in there, can expand out that color. But we're also using it with a little bit of a risotto base. So if you don't know, risotto is you're taking your rice, and I kind of already here washed it off, and you want to heat it up until the rice turns blanch white. All right, you'll see it ever get heated there, and I'll walk around here for all. And this is the beginning of how, now risotto takes 45 minutes. Luckily for you all, I've already made something. But it's the initial point, and there are so many people, like, so I was just in an Italian restaurant a couple nights ago in Camarillo. They did risotto right. All right, and here's how you can tell. They use wine, and they use the stock flavor. Too many places, and if you go to any of these, even steak restaurants that are like from Applebee's, Chili's, Outback, if they've got risotto on the dish, they didn't take the time. There's nothing flavoring in the stock. They just use water. They don't ever use any wine, and it makes all the difference. So what we're doing is we're going to get our rice just turning white, and then when it gets to this stage, you want white wine like a Chardonnay. You want to place that in there and then stir the rice into that. And then you want to take some, if you have this already, some shallot onions in butter and put this all together. So this is where this is the starting point. All right. So this has got the white wine in it right now, just the rice, and it's just dried out like that, and the shallots before it all cooked.
Good.
You start with that, and this is where it takes time and patience, is you'll add your stock and mix it around like that and cook it each time. You don't want to put very much, you don't want to put a whole lot. And really the rule of thumb is if you're putting 1 cup of rice, 4 cups of liquid. Or basically 4, sometimes 5, but that's about where you want to go. This is not that amount, so I wouldn't use all 4 cups of it. But you're just going to cook this until it starts to all get, there's no liquid left, and then you pour a little bit in. You slowly build up, and then what you're trying to do is you're making rice into a pasta. So once that's all that together, now we're going to go on to the rest of our dish. So this is a garlic and onion, and this is something that's totally revolutionary. A lot of people thinking. So I've got some butter in here. I got some onions already sauteing here. For your garlic, in this particular one, you want the leaf in there, all of it. Because think what all that is. It's just old garlic, right? But this type of soup, the way the Irish did it, they are using every bit of it. Your saffron's already your most expensive part. This is a dish that comes out of the Waterford area in Ireland, which is closer to Cornwall. So there's a lot of connection. Cornwall is infatuated with saffron. They put saffron in everything. Yeah, every one of the Celtic nations have something that they're really addicted to. Yeah, both Ireland and Scotland love their whiskey cooking for. The Scots like to put oats with everything. The Irish don't, but when the Irish do cook things like with certain types of berries, and they do a lot of cabbage with everything, but they also do a lot of strawberries with everything. The Welsh, of course, have to put a leek in everything. And many people cook with leeks at all? Few people. So we're not using it in this particular dish, but just to tell you, some of the culinary schools and a lot of the shows I've seen will tell you only use that much. There isn't a single farmstead I've been in Scotland and Ireland and Wales, whatever, that isn't using as much of the plant as possible. One of the biggest problems that they have when you're cooking it is that your soil line. But if you just cut it in half like this, it allows you to get in there to wash out all of that dirt from that. Now you have to watch out when you're using the darker green. If you're making something like a potato and leek soup, you can end up being, you can make it too thick. The dark green with potatoes, yellow potatoes, which you want to use, it will really, really thicken it up. So maybe you want to do a partial puree for it. But anyway, we got our garlic in here. It's sauteing, our onions. And you want to take the flat of your, I don't know how many people know this. I watch a lot of people when, if they come work for me and they don't know, best way to go and get flavor out of garlic, taking the flat of your knife, pressing down really hard. You're releasing the oils in it, but you're not over releasing. When you get those little squeeze things, you put too much of the oils in, and I think it flavors much more than you need for. And I'm not a fan of having the already pre-pressed garlic because half the time it's rancid. It has no flavor for it all. Or you've kept it in the refrigerator for so long and it becomes that way. So it's best to always go fresh garlic. It's less expensive, but you get so much more of a flavor for it all. And you want to, like I said, put every bit of the garlic, the leaf as well. The only part of the garlic you will not put in is that base portion where the roots are. We want to saute all this garlic in there, and I'm sorry, some people don't like garlic. I'm like, you really couldn't put enough garlic in everything.
Love garlic.
But just mince it all up. And get that sauteed in there. And you're just supposed to go and saute. Now we're using Kerrygold butter. Anybody else use Kerrygold butter? A few people. I'm not using this Kerrygold butter because it's Irish butter, it's Celtic and all that. I'm using it as a chef because it's a far superior product. They're not paying me. Maybe one day. They haven't paid any chef to go and promote it. But the difference, the reason why I like it. American butter uses between 17 to 19 pints of milk to make a pound of butter. Kerrygold is using between 21 and 23 pints of milk to make that same pound of butter. What it translates for us means that 3% more milk fat, but more importantly, 15% less water than American butter. We water down our butter. Take the butter out of the refrigerator and it starts to sweat. Because water and oil don't want to mix. Starting to smell a little bit of that garlic now. So we get this sauteed a little bit. Now we're going to add a little bit of sherry, cooking sherry. And you just want to go and put that in just a base. Mix all this up, and we're sauteing this out before we go into putting in our saffron for it. So, while that's just simmering a little bit, I'm going to tell you, this is out of my soup, sauces, stocks, and stews cookbook for it all, right? And just to kind of tell you a few things, some other good soups out of it. One of them is a smoked salmon whiskey cheese soup. That one's, and I always tell everybody when cooking with whiskey, there's a little bit of a delta. Pairing food with whiskey is totally different than cooking whiskey. How many people like Irish whiskey to drink? I know we're at a Scottish event, but there's still people who do like it. It's a little milder. It's because when they make Irish whiskey, they distill it 3 times or sometimes 4. They've cooked it 3 or 4 times. You can't really cook with Irish whiskey because when you're cooking it, you're basically cooking it a 4th or a 5th time. And each time you cook, you take more and more of the impurities out for what makes the flavor. Scotch whiskey, bourbons are only done twice. So you've only got so much in it. So cook a third time, you still got flavor. It's like cooking with cheese. But they always tell you to use very mature cheese for it all, because as you apply heat to it, you end up taking away all that craftsmanship, all the flavor. So I've read so many restaurants that have used, they go and use a mild cheddar cheese to make whatever dish, and basically you're putting tofu in it. You get no flavor for it at all. So we're just sauteing this. We don't want our onions or our garlic to be brown. We just want them so they're clear cut. Got that nice buttery flavor for it all. We got our sherry in here. This is when we're going to add in our saffron. And now I'm going to come through. So we're getting the saffron is coming through here. It's changing the color base of our soup here. Just for everybody to go and see. Normally I have a nice television, but unfortunately it's not working right now. We're missing one part. But so we get a lot of good flavor for all the saffron getting there sauteed. We're going to add in one other vegetable now. This is a little bit of celery, more for a crunch aspect. Chop this down real quick. I follow a couple other chefs on YouTube and all that. And one of them is Chef Caterer, who's actually Italian. He's a young guy, but he's very comical in his stuff. But he's got this one where I love this. He's chopping it down. And he's telling you how how I was doing it was kind of called a chef's cut. So you're just using the back of your hand to go and follow down. And he says it's an Italian's invented it, right? And I was like, really? So he says, yeah, because you make this jam, you chop it off. When you're done, you've got the Italian. I thought, okay, there's an original talk. So we got our bases for here. Now remember the risotto we topped with? We're going to add that in, kind of our thickening aspect. You could use just white rice if you want, but myself, I'm just a big, huge fan of risotto. And like I said, and I've got to go and promote these guys. I like their Italian food. It's a Thai restaurant, Cameroon. It's got like 4.7% rating, but not only was their risotto spot on, everything else was, but the company that owns the building has ripped everything out on the outside, and so you look at it, it looks like an abandoned building with a little teeny open sign up front. You go in, and then it's a fine dining Italian restaurant. But the poor guys are having to deal with the fact that their owner wants to revamp the entire front, and we drove up there the other day, and it was like looking more like, you sure this is a restaurant here on a condemned site? All right, I'm going to walk through one more time here real quickly because we're going to get to see now how our basis of our soup now. So with the risotto coming in for it all.
Delicious.
And risotto, if you wanted to, you could actually add a little cheddar cheese, like a very sharp cheddar cheese in this. But originally like that, it's just like a garlic. Trying to get the back people to see it. I looked it up, you can't see it at all. So we have two more things we're going to add in.
He's making rice.
One of them being bay leaves. Now I'm kind of cooking at a fast pace right now. We're going to put 2 leaves in here. Most of the time, you notice I'm not telling you how much I'm putting in because I want you to go next door and buy the cookbook.
They're good books.
But you want to put the bay leaves in here and let that simmer with it all. We're going to add a little bit more of the stock. Mix that in. And then we're going to add in a little heavy whipping cream. Now, we have been told too many times in restaurants that fat is bad, fat is bad, fat is bad. And if you actually watch this Australian show that was on, it's called The Sugar Story, they're showing you that it's actually sugar is the bad thing, and sugar has actually been behind all those ads that have been telling you that fat is bad. It all started off when when President Eisenhower had a mild heart attack. The doctor wrote in the notes, it could have been from an increased amount of fat in his diet. Could have been, but that's not what the sugar company said. They went to town on it for it all. And we've gotten so far even with our dairy, right? We have our whole milk, we have our 2%, our 1%, and our skim milk. Over in Ireland, Scotland, they have none of that. They started whole milk and they go the other direction, and they have no obesity, or very little, less than us anyway. They have whole milk, then they have what's called single cream, kind of like our like our table cream, but about 3 to 5% more milk fat than ours. Then they have double cream, like our heavy whipping cream, but a full 5 to 7% more milk fat than our own. And then they have creme fraiche. Now we have creme fraiche over here. It's like a liquefied sour cream, but over here it's like a minimum of 35% milk fat. Over there it's a minimum of 55% milk fat. So why don't they the fat in for? Well, it's for construction, flavor, but it's actually the more fat in the dairy is actually healthier for you than the less. The more you get on the 2%, 1%, they double the amount of sugar that's in it and increase the estrogen level. So when you're eating 1% or skim milk, it's mostly all sugar and estrogen. It's not the dairy. And your body actually needs fat, mostly food for your brain thinking for it all, not healthy fat. This is a healthy fat, avocado is a healthy fat, different than your fried food fat. Totally different. Not condoning that one, I'm just saying that there are healthy fats, and in moderation, as always is, they are far better for you than having to go and get the skim version. My roommate, he's a big health guy and all that, and he was like going, no, it's got to be all these different styles, and then he actually did a lot of research for it all himself. And he says, all right, I'll give you that one was right. So, yeah. His ears were burning.
Over there in the corner.
Yeah, even his girlfriend's on his case about that stuff. So pretty much we're done here. Was this a hard dish to make? So wait the last thing I do need to add in, we need a touch of lemon juice.
And Eric, you sell all your books and spices online too, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're at thecelticator.com. We've recently, in the last year, we had a little bit of problems with our past webmaster and some information, but that's kind of been sorted out. We've now moved to a different webmaster, and so things are starting to right now. Let me just quickly tell you the books while we're letting that just simmer for it all. We start off with our Scottish cookbook. Now, I've won a lot of awards in some Top Chef charity competitions in Denver, Dallas, and Las Vegas. In the Scottish cookbook, we also won, actually in California, here was a Lodi in 2006 for wine pairing. It's a smoked salmon cheese pate. It's designed so that when you go and take a sip of the wine, and then you go and have a little bit of the smoked salmon cheese pate, and then you drink the wine again, they make pops of wine in a totally different flavor direction. And it's really nice. We've also won in here for a roast leg of lamb and a blueberry port wine demi-glaze, which we're doing next. And then a very decadent orange chocolate whiskey mousse. Our Irish cookbook, we won for an Irish asparagus blue cheese salad, a 3-time marinade Irish stew. You marinate lamb first in onions, garlic, and butter, second in red wine, and then third in Guinness. And then also a Guinness chocolate walnut cake that we're doing today. There it is. Our Welsh cookbook. How many people like shepherd's pie? So this tells you all the do's and don'ts how to make a proper shepherd's pie. The big one is you need to make sure you have at least 50% lamb in it, because you can't shepherd cows. So you can't really call it a shepherd's pie. Call it cottage pie. I'm not saying do it wrong. My sister, she lives up in Breckenridge, Colorado, dared me one time when I was over for Christmas, and she brought out 3 pounds of wild boar. What are you going to make with it? I made a cottage pie with a wild boar. You have to drain out a little bit of the excess fat, but really, really good flavor. And she's a school teacher up there. Of course, she went in to go and preheated version, and every one of our other fellow teachers were like, "What are you eating today?" So this one also tells you there's also some really good recipes for desserts in here. Welsh cakes. This has a good recipe for doing that one for all. There are a couple different ways of making Welsh cakes. One of them is the way this was done, which is just a flat cake. The other one is they actually take like almost looks like a small pancake, but they'll do a bit of a brush of maple syrup on both ends. And in fact, we used to have in the United States 2 different companies. This was the Welsh cake here from the West Coast, and then the East Coast was going their version with the maple syrup. It's the same thing as doing Southern Wales versus Northern Wales, and that's been in rivalry for over 1,000 years or so.
They're good at that.
Yep. So, now when I wrote all that, one of my most popular dishes is my vegetarian Celtic cookbook. Everything in here, there's about 7 recipes in there that are vegan. Most of it are all in an ovo-lacto style, meaning it does have eggs and cheese in for it all. I actually sell more of these in Texas than any other state. There are just as many vegetarians in Texas as there are anywhere else, except for in Texas, they're all in the plaza. They're the ones going to their own barbecues and say, I'm not feeling too well, I'm just going to have some of your carrots and some celery and all that. But a lot of recipes, like we did one just out of this last demonstration, which was a wild mushroom russala. It's like a bruschetta. We had shiitakes and portobellos and creminis and then some porcini and some truffle salt put into it all. You boil it down with ale. Guinness, and then you put a little bit of that, and you place it on crackers or crostinis or brilliant little plate like a bruschetta. But this also recipe has is a Celtic fried cheese. It's cheddar cheese wrapped in Parmesan risotto with chopped celery, rolled in panko breadcrumbs, and then flash fried or baked. It's really, really interesting dish. Now, for some reason, somebody thought all my recipes were vegetarian because I wrote a vegetarian cookbook. I mean, why would you typically say a vegetarian cookbook if all of them were vegetarian? So to put that to rest, I wrote a bacon Celtic cookbook. Everything done with bacon in it for it all. And I talk about the different styles of bacon for it all. It's not just, bacon isn't just what we know as American bacon, that's just the pork belly. Bacon can be come from I'm now missing my words here. Canadian bacon is the very top, the fillet, right at the beginning. Then you have the pork that goes over the rib, and then the pork belly itself. Now over there, they're going to take half of the fillet and or the pork loin, half of the loin and the rib meat, and that is where if you've been over to Ireland and Scotland, that's a rasher of bacon. That's the one you get served. A lot of Americans go over there and they go, "Why are you serving me ham when you said you were going to have bacon on the breakfast part?" That's a big one for there. Then they have what's called streaky bacon, which is half of the rib meat and all of the pork belly. So they do have, but they only do have 2 different types of bacon. Where in the United States, our butchers learn to get more money after going one for the pork loin, 1 cut for the rib meat, and 1 cut for the pork belly. So that's why when you want to find a real British, Scottish, Irish kind of rashers of bacon, it's probably it could be $20 a pound instead of $6 a pound, because the butchers aren't wanting to go and give up 1/3 of their income, and they make so much money off of the pork belly bacon for it all. Sam's Club has a substitute. They use the pork shoulder, but they still smoke it and cure it the same way, and it's got a good flavor for it all. So we're all going to get a little taste here for it all. I'm just wanting to get it simmering for a little bit, and I think my fire is going down just a little bit. Yeah, my fuel. Because the way you're supposed to serve soup over there is piping hot. So the last thing I want to tell you on the bacon cookbooks is a couple of the recipes in here. The front cover is a Breton bacon bunny. It's a rabbit stuffed with Bocana mashed potatoes, which is potatoes, cabbages, and onions, wrapped in a weave of bacon with a honey whiskey butter glaze to it. We also do a sticky toffee pudding, which is a very moist date cake with a real Scotch butterscotch frosting and then candied bacon. Unfortunately, Jell-O has changed what all Americans think pudding means. Pudding is an old Middle English word for soft food. It can apply to a cake, it can apply to a meat, or it's just a soft food. What we call pudding is more like a mousse style pudding. Just that mousses don't have as much butter as Jellos make their puddings work. Now the best recipe out of that one is where they take pears, cut it in half, pour it hollow it, fill it up with a mixture of crushed graham crackers, butter, cinnamon, vanilla, spice rum, and a little brown sugar. Put all that together, put that in the cavity, put a dollop of goat cheese on top of it, and wrap it up with bacon and bacon pear. Now all these books are available next door. They're $20 each, or you can get a special of any three of them for $55. And they're like half a cookbook, half a history. Does anybody have any questions for me about Celtic food, Celtic cuisine, Celtic history at all? Nope, that's all that? I know everybody's just dying to go.
I was gonna say, you told us at the beginning, but where exactly did we think the Celtic people started? Because I know we went up and around.
People started in Hallstatt, Austria.
Okay.
That's the it's not
then it
that
kind of
the
migrated.
Celtic people were all related. It's more of what they call a Celticization.
Yeah.
It's a style of using pewter and a lifestyle, and everybody started to adopt that style. And then the hierarchy, the different villages started using the same style, and that kind of it was more
like a way of life.
Yeah. In the beginning, that just spread, and then they started intermarrying, and the language base created from that now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, in fact, Gaelic speech has like a little bit of a third different dialects variation, and get some really into it. So, like Scottish Gaelic is different than Irish than Welsh, and there's similarity words, but their pronunciation is different. Does anybody else have any questions for you? Yes, sir.
Do you have any recipes from Brittany in your cookbook?
For which?
From Brittany?
Brittany, France, yes. So there's a Scottish cookbook, an Irish cookbook, Wales, they have a man cookbook. Then the other three, the specialty ones, which are the vegetarian, the bacon, and the soup, have all 8 Celtic nations. So they are specialty ones that were brought down for all. So they have, and in each chapter it'll tell you that it's got whatever the first letter is, that tells you where it's from. Like this one right here is from Cornwall, this recipe for it all. So we got it now. I got my steaming up for it all. We're all good to go. We're gonna taste for it all. We're getting ready. Our next demonstration is going to be at 2:30, which is the roast leg of lamb, which has still been cooking for me for a little while. And we're gonna have you all come up in a moment and get a little taste for it all. And I'll be available to sign for books for it. Yeah. Any questions for me last time? Everybody always has when they come up there. So in Gaelic, as they say it, slime the floor till we all meet again. Thank you. Just come on up, and I will.
Because you can't find it. Alright, let me get it. Oh man, that looks so good.
Was it in the old frontage road, Ventura?
Delicious.
I know I took a highway up, I took a right, a right, a right, and a right.
Remember that in order.
All
right.
No, if you just
Thank you,
Google up
Eric.
Italian right.
Man, that looks fantastic.
Only,
Here's the completed
like a
work.
15, 20 minute drive
Ooh,
from here.
yummy.
Yeah, I lived in.
This store is so cool, you guys. It's so cool. I took some good pictures, but they got all sorts of cool stuff. This is Eric McBride's shop. He also is an amazing cook. I'll have to link his stuff in the description. I'm sure I did in a previous video. Really cool. Pretty cool. It's also got some awesome dice over here. Like really cool dice. Look at these dice. Pretty cool. Tree. it's an ent. Cool. That's pretty cool. Cool. Delicious Welsh cakes. They sell these online, and this is clotted cream and lemon curd.
What's Lori doing right now?
Yummy. And then also fish and chips. Yay!
So.
Check out these cool cars. They're doing bands over there. Isn't that cool? Look at how cool they are. And they're doing the bands. Pretty cool. Let's look around over here, they're practicing. Pretty cool. Having a blast today. It's been really, really fun, so hopefully you're enjoying the video. Hopefully there's nothing in my teeth, that would be awkward. We just had delicious fish and chips and scones and clotted cream, and oh man, it's so good. Delicious, delicious. Beautiful sunny day here though, Southern California. Indeed. All right, this is the Highland Way right here. Music group, they're pretty awesome. And here's the walking down the main street with all the booths and all the clans. Pretty awesome. Beautiful day. This is a band group. Bagpipe doesn't even have to be mic'd. There's the band part. Pretty cool. All right, here's a sheep. So today we're gonna watch some sheep herding. There's a sheep. He's just ignoring me as he eats. Alright guys, we're gonna watch a little bit of herding. I don't have a ton of battery in the phone, but I'll show you a little bit even though it's like a 30-minute thing. There's the sheep. There's the border collie. They're so excited. It's kind of fun because we...
Thanks for coming out to our 3 o'clock demo. My name is Ted Thompson-Hundrock. I'm with SoCal Herding. We're a training facility located in the Antelope Valley in Palmdale up in the hills, where we teach folks like yourselves that have these herding breed dogs that are maybe driving you crazy because they're not working. So people come out to us, they take weekly lessons, and generally speaking, even the perfect dogs, everybody says, become more perfect. We find that when you let an animal do what we created them to do, what we specifically bred them to do, when you let them do that, they just seem to be more well-adjusted, happier dogs. It's as simple as that. When you don't do that, when you breed them specifically to do a job, and then you don't let them do that, we find when you breed them like that and then you don't let them do that, a real working dog is going to find their own job. And many times the job that they find is not good. It's the flower garden, the slippers, the newspaper, the leather couch. But sometimes it turns into aggression. Sometimes it turns into they get mean and nasty to people and other dogs. Yeah. A lot of these dogs that came out to our facility or have come out in the last 30 years have changed. Their whole temperament has changed because they're allowed to do. This is a dog out here, her name is Sadie. When she came to us years ago, you couldn't touch her. Nobody could. You couldn't even get
pretty
near
dog.
her. She was so tied into her owner that anybody coming close, she would just start to wrap around the backside of her owner. Now, because of herding, she's doing nothing different in life. Everything is the same, but she brings her out every week to herd. She's in our Saturday night class. Sadie is a class clown. She's off leash. She's saying hello to everybody. She's walking up to people. Cheryl's able to go places in public with her now, and where people can actually approach her now versus before. So things like that. We have stories like that that go on and on and on about dogs that are having issues because they're not allowed to do what we bred them to do. So anyway, this is Sadie. Sadie's like 10 or 11 years old already. And she's just playing right now. She's very limited out here. This one on the right that's standing is Tweed. He's 13 years old. I can't use him like I used to, but I still use him. Because even though he's old, he still wants to work. That instinct doesn't go away just because they get old. We just have to monitor them. We have to be careful and not let them do too much. Because sometimes the dogs like Tweed, They won't self-monitor. They'll just continue to work on their own until they just drop over. So what Cheryl's showing you is just basic stuff. The most important thing we can teach a dog is to contain the livestock, keep them together. So I want to explain basically how herding works. Tweed thinks they all need help, so he's always going to try to help them. Herding basically works because of the prey-predator drive. The dogs are the predators in this case. They're, let's say, the lions. The sheep is the animal. They can coexist in the same field as long as there's enough space between them. We call that the comfort zone, the flight zone, the bubble, whatever you want to call it. It's no different with us. If all of a sudden I said, wow, over there's a lion, we'd all start to back away if the lion started coming towards us. We would all have that safe distance that allows us to get away from the predator that's coming towards us. So that makes the sense then that the first thing we need to teach the dogs is about that bubble. We want to teach the dogs that if you run towards the sheep or the cows or whatever we're working, they're going to run 180 degrees away. The one given that we have in herding is that livestock, whether it's goats, chickens, geese, sheep, it doesn't matter. They will all move 180 degrees away from they perceive as a predator or pressure. We know that. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Cheryl. Good job. Look at her face. Look at her face. So knowing that, you then know where to put the dog. If you look at this as a everywhere I stand is 6 o'clock, so that means 12 o'clock is out there. If the sheep are a couple of 100 yards out in front of me there, I have to teach the dog that if you run at them to go get them, they're going to run away. So the dog has to do all of its movement outside, either side of that bubble. And as long as he's wide enough, the antelope in the middle won't care if the lion is moving because he's far enough away. So now the dog has run out. He's got up there to what we call balance, 12 o'clock. We now need him to slow down, because if I'm standing here and I have 200 or 300 head of sheep that are 150, 200 pounds, I don't want them running at me at 20 miles an hour. I want my dog to slow down and walk. So we teach them once they get the balance, slow down, turn, slow down, and walk quietly. And if you do, the sheep will exactly walk 100
So I'll link this in the description on who these people are and where they're from, but running out of battery, so this is about all I'm going to be able to do.
Now this next dog coming up, first thing we're asked in herding is, I have a so-and-so dog. Can we instinct test them?
Anyway, this is
Just
pretty
because
cool.
you have a Border Collie or an Australian Shepherd or one of those dogs doesn't mean that they're going to go. Doesn't mean that they're going to go to sheep. In order for us to work a dog, they have to want to go to sheep. You'll see that all the dogs that we bring out today, what they all have in common is that they all want to go to the sheep. You can't food train a dog to go around and gather up livestock. You can food train a dog to heel at your side. You can food train a dog to jump over a jump or go through
This is when they're trading.
You can't food train these dogs.
The other ones are so good. Alright, that's it for now. I'll have to do more later.
To our facility at no charge, and we'll just
Here's some
keep
more.
trying the dog. Some dogs will have to come out 3 and 4 times
This is how they train
before
them.
they will turn on. So you have to understand, sometimes you take a 2 or 3 year old dog, and what do you tell it since it's puppy news? Stop hurting the cats, stop hurting the kids, stop hurting the other dogs in the dog park. And then you bring them to a place like ours and you say, okay, now I want you to do all that stuff I've been telling you not to do. Some dogs get a mixed signal, they will not do it. End of story. So, but after they come back 3 or 4 times, maybe the one time that they start to do that furtive move towards the sheep, and instead of getting yelled at, they hear, good boy or good girl.
What a good boy.
Boom, the light turns on, the next thing you know, you got a herding dog. So that's the purpose of the instinct test. It's just to turn them loose and see what they do. If they go to sheep like this particular dog,
Oh, found the shade.
train this dog. We can turn
He
this
found
dog
the
to pretty
shade,
much
smart
whatever
dog.
level we want. This is a This is a nice dog. This is a rescue dog, by the way. We don't know anything about this dog. It showed up at the shelter. Kristen works at the East Valley, or volunteers at the East Valley shelter a couple of days a week when she's not working her full-time job. But this dog came into the shelter. I think it came in as a stray. As soon as she gets a herding breed dog in there, she brings it out. Kristen's in our Saturday night class. She just
I hope this thing's going out.
and we go ahead and we test the dogs. And that way we can critique this dog. For instance, this is a working dog. Look at her face, or his face. He's only about 10 months old. Look at his desire. He's trying to figure out how I can get around this lady there and get to those sheep. That's really all is on his mind. He's only trying to get to them, okay? And Kristen's positioning will teach him how to stay out and do it right. So you notice it took together to make a noise and just spook him and get him to stay out a little bit. And then she'll let him in a little bit, but slowly. This is all how we start training. People, how long does it get a dog? How long does it take to get a dog trained like the ones that we have? 2.5, 3 years of maybe 3 or 4 times a week. It's a long process. We tell people if you're in this for a quick fix, go try something else. Because herding, very seldom you can go another once or twice a week. You can't do it in your own backyard. You have to go to a facility that has livestock. So we're asking a lot of a dog that's only being worked once or twice a week to really, whoa! Now see, that's not allowed in competition. That dog would be called off. So with the handler,
Because he went to actually touch the.
You want to let them know, like,
So she's
no,
showing.
you can't fight like that. That's not acceptable. But we don't want to get so hard because there may be a time when the dog has to take a bite to protect himself.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, this is a rescue. We don't know anything about the background, why it was on the streets. Who knows? But nobody claimed it, and so we're trying to do our best to possibly help get it a home. All right, Kristen, as long as you got hold of him, go ahead and keep hold of him.
All right, that'll do. That'll do.
He's like, no more.
The reason I'm saying that is this is the first time this dog's been away from the shelter or our ranch. And he only comes
like
to our
Brody
ranch
when he
on
was
Saturday
in the
night
season.
for class, and he's only been there 2 weeks. This is the first day away from those 2 places. So it's remarkable what he's doing. But the first 2 demos we did before, we had a hard time catching him. So that's why I said if you got hold of him now, let's keep hold of him. Okay, up next is Dylan, and there's Tweed. See my old boy? Yeah, they appreciate the applause. Look at my old dog there. He's been trained to hold these sheep when I'm talking. He's always going to not let him get too far away, even when there's other dogs working. 18 years old. Look at him.
Yeah, what a good dog. He just immediately comes to his side when he says it.
Concentrate on the intensity of this dog. Look at the creep, the cry, just like a wolf, a coyote, a fox. The Border Collie is a 600-year-old breed bred on the border hills of England and Scotland, hence the name Border Collie. They are the only breed that we know of in the herding world that has what we call the eye, and that was given to them 200 years later when they bred bird dog into it. The people that created this breed decided that the way something stares at something can affect the movement of what's being stared at. So they decided to try putting bird dog into the Border Collie, and they liked the results because what it gave them was a dog who, when they're on their livestock, they don't necessarily care if there's thunder, lightning, gunshots, traffic, somebody's talking on a microphone, people watching. They don't care. They're focused on their livestock. And when you do this for a living, that's the kind of dog you want. You don't want a dog running off, going checking out other things. You want them, once they make contact with their sheep or their cows or whatever you're working, you want them to stay on them, and that's it. This is a very, very well-bred dog. It's an ABCA dog. That means American Border Collie Association, and all of those dogs in that are dogs
Cool.
that are the grassroots or back from
Alright, that's it for the Border Collie stuff. Herding. We'll do a little bit of the Highland Games here in the video later.
This dog and job, Mackenzie. Oh, he almost got her. Okay, now Dylan's just going to switch dogs. And
Just
I
a
want you to
taste.
Look at the difference of these two dogs that he has.
And I watched the old one. It's good to bring it back to him.
Look at him. Think she's happy? Can you believe it? Actually, people that will come up
Look at
to
the
me
old
after
one, so
the
good.
demo
Just pushes the
and
sheep
ask
closer
me,
to him just a
how do
little
you know
bit.
they really
I
like
think
it?
Brody would do it that way, probably.
Really?
Probably. Brody
Just to
probably
have
good at
them
this.
listen like that. I mean, just look at their faces. Look at this dog. Look at her.
Happy dog.
She hasn't been walk around and look pretty. You notice the difference in the looks of this dog and the last dog that was in there? You notice the difference in the intensity of the way it works? Totally different. This dog's main objective in breeding was for looks. Because it still had some herding interest, Dylan's been able to do a few things with it, but very limited. Whereas his other pup that he just worked looks. My business don't care about what they look like. We just care if they can do the job. That's the most important thing. So Dylan came to us years ago with a Shetland sheepdog, and then he came to us with this border collie.
C-130 going right by us.
All right, Kristen, good job.
Pretty big. Pretty cool. This is where he gives commands with the whistle.
Some little baby.
Yeah.
Imitating the whistle.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that's so cool. Baby's like, I like that whistle.
Yeah.
They're so good. Look at those dogs. Look at the babies. Babies over there imitating his whistles. So he uses a whistle to give him commands to get the sheep. Watch, this is so cool. So he splits them. And they come around together as a group.
Well, there you have it, folks. That just gives you a little bit of an idea of how we use two dogs to work a whole bunch of sheep.
Wow, that was cool.
That concludes our demo. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you all. We love showing off these dogs. I love showing off my old man here, 13 years old. Champion. They never lose it. They want to do it forever. So, and that's the fun part for us.
It's pretty
I want
cool.
to thank the festival for having us. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, 11, 1, and 3. And I want to shout out to all you veterans out there. Thank you for your service. Welcome home. And for my Vietnam brothers and sisters, welcome home. Thank you all.
Awesome. All right, here's the caber toss, guys. Does he get it? Oh, that was close. So they gotta try to flip it over, and it's gotta be at 12 o'clock from them. If it goes sideways, they lose some points. All right, caber toss. Might as well catch both. She's gonna do the hay toss. Oh wow, she got that over. That was amazing. All right, here we go, caber toss. Bummer.
Everybody's either made it over.
Yeah, that was amazing.
This next one comes out. She's minor.
Yeah.
Watch her throw that thing.
Yeah. This is a good angle actually to watch.
She made this thing like had to go like 3 feet over the ball.
All right, here we go. We got a caber toss. Oh, darn. So close. Yeah. Oh, darn. That was close. Yeah, that's so hard. Getting it high is one thing, but then you have to angle at the right time. That's so hard. Bummer. Alright, here we go. Oh! Oh! That was good. Caber toss. Caber toss. Oh, close. The crowd, oh, it's such a funny, it's so funny how that sounds. Yeah, I mean, where do you think they got it? Yeah, that is true, it's funny.
Like if you looked at one right there, says
Okay.
I like just the bagpipe in the background.
There's always a bagpipe going.
There's always a bagpipe, it never stops. It's truly how the world was meant to be. I'm just kidding, Dad. What? What bagpipe? Let's see if she can get it up. Oh, so close! Oh, that's good. I think the best part about this, I like this. It's so sticky. It's like really easy to make sure you're not locked in the even when I do it, you get more consistency.
Alright, looks like the bar is getting great. That's 27.
Should get him to put it in early this year. I was gonna get him a cycle because
What are you doing?
right here.
You can't do video. Hey guys, it's Scott from our choir video. Yeah, exactly.
So I gotta get twice as many as I can.
Let's see, you think this guy's gonna do it? Is this the guy that did it last time? Alright, here we go. Alright, see you, Scott. Oh, there you go! Oh, that was awesome! Alright, with that, my friends, have a wonderful and happy day in Middle-earth, my friends. I hope you'll go and watch the part 2, the second day as well, if you want to. If you got to the very end of the video, you're the best. I hope that you enjoyed, or if you skipped around too, wonderful. I hope that you enjoyed. I made this episode or series, blog series, a little bit more of a personal blog series where you're following me around and kind of sitting with me watching the games and the events and the parades and the cooking shows and all that kind of stuff. And again, I was with my family and friends. We had a wonderful time. But again, when I had little times to sneak and get a recording in for you guys, I did. I tried to do a couple of the stories as well, but sometimes I feel a little uncomfortable doing recording around with stories. You all get that. But again, I got you some nice pictures of things and stuff as well. It was super fun. I had a really fun time making this video for you guys as well. And again, I hope you enjoyed it. When I edited this video, it was like 6 months later. So I finally got it done for you. So thank you so much again. Stay happy, my friends. Baruch Kazan Kuzan, I menu. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. What's your favorite thing? Again, it was a lot of fun to go here, even though we had to drive quite a distance to get to it, but it was a very fun event. I highly recommend it. There's lots of Highland games all over Southern California and really all over the United States. We have a love for our original background of Highland, Scotland, Ireland, England, all that stuff as well. Of course, Highland games mostly focuses on the Celtic background areas, but again, it's super fun and everyone comes to it from all backgrounds and competes from all backgrounds. So it's really, really a fun, very inclusive, awesome event. It's just super fun and everyone just feels like a big family when you're at these events. So again, hopefully I got you a little taste even though you weren't in person. Hopefully it made it fun to kind of blow you there like you're with me in person for the blog. So again, my friends, thanks to my Patreons, and I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Ring. Stay happy, my friends. See ya.